Hey, welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. Thank you guys for joining me here today. What a wild weekend in basketball this weekend. But, thank you, beautiful people. We're gonna get to the games in just 1 second. Let's get this. But truly, what a weekend for the NBA. The whole weekend was an unbelievable weekend, despite how I might be feeling today about it. But yes, let's get right into the show. Welcome to the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and any topic that comes our way as accurate as possible. And for today, it's a little bit sad, but my New York Knicks fell short in Game 7. But was this season a fluke or not? The Denver Nuggets are no longer in pursuit of their world champion. They can't go back-to-back no more. How good are the Minnesota Timberwolves? And on Saturday, we saw Dallas punch their ticket into the Western Conference Finals. How did they do that? And how do all of these matchups look moving forward? As always, it's your host, Jayson Estrera. And we got no sponsors, baby. So let's get right into the show. We'll work through everything in order. We'll start with the Saturday game, which was Game 6 between the Dallas Mavericks and the Oklahoma City Thunder, which was in Dallas. The Dallas Mavericks ended up winning that game 117-116. And how did they do that? We had 29 points from Luka Doncic. He also had 10 assists and 10 rebounds with 2 steals. Shot 9 for 15 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3, 7 of 7 from the line, which is much better than he's been shooting on the line all series long. Also add in 22 points from Kyrie Irving, who went 9 for 23, was super aggressive, 4 of 10 from the field. Also had 2 rebounds and 3 assists. And Derrick Jones Jr. had a phenomenal game, a phenomenal first half, really. 8 of 13 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and a couple of really massive dunks. On the other side, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had himself another 30-plus point game. He's just automatic. Bet the over 30 on this guy because he is automatic from him. He had 36 points, 8 assists, and 3 rebounds. Yep. He also had, 2 blocks? 2 blocks. Shot 14 of 25 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3, which is much better than he's been shooting from the 3-point line. And he also had 21 points from Chet Holmgren, add in only 3 rebounds and an assist, and 22 points from Jalen Williams. So let's take a look at how this actually turned out for us.
Doncic spinning.
Tough 3 by Luka.
Tough 3. Chest to chest, spinning now.
Look at that.
His follow-away is good on the
Look
base.
at that.
3 seconds left. Williams stops near
Williams,
midcourt.
deep 3.
Drills it. 45 to go, second quarter.
Shai has just been so good in isolation. Kyrie, like we said, is being aggressive.
Make that 12 points for Luka. 13 for Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh.
What a pass. Gilgeous-Alexander working.
This guy is unreal, bro.
Spinning, turning, twisting, and scoring. And 15 points. 5 turnovers, though, and a technical foul.
Big
Jones
shot.
on the spot up. Doncic attacks, hangs, Got it. And a foul by Wallace. Dallas keeps. Here's Irving on the spot up. And it's good. Retake the lead. Doncic going to work. Driving on Dort. Ball away. It's good. Gain the advantage. We'll see if the Thunder answer. Williams does. Splash points. Doncic hangs. Blocked by Jalen Williams. Loose ball. Shot clock.
This moment was huge. Oh my God. I can't believe he hit that.
Takes shooter's touch to a new level as Shea Gill got blocked. Gathered by Jones with one to shoot. Jones makes it. 5-point game. Gilgeous-Alexander drives it. A three from Shea.
Wow.
Now on the switch, Lively's got him. He drives, floats it up, and the throwdown. Gives it up. Washington, double clutch three. No, the tip in, and they're going to call a foul. Rebound, Holmgren, three-quarter court.
And that is the game.
We talk about it all year, the little thing.
Talking about that foul call, it was challenged, but it did end up being a foul called on Shea. This is what he had to say about it.
Things that go into winning games and being disciplined, and it sucks. Obviously, if I had the moment back, I wouldn't have fouled him and just let him make or miss the shot.
Yep.
So this is a question for both of y'all, Luka, Kyrie. Y'all saw the doubters that were saying that y'all wouldn't work. Kyrie, a couple months ago, you talked about the D grade that ESPN gave y'all. Could y'all talk about just... Yeah, they gave him a D rating for the trade from the Nets.
That's crazy.
So could you?
Hey,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I wanted to ask
crazy.
y'all how
into All-Star game to be
does it feel to prove the doubters wrong?
I don't think we care. We
Yeah, it is
enjoy
what
playing
it
with
is.
each other. We enjoy playing with this team. So,
Yes, sir.
we don't really care what other people have to say.
And yeah, just a great gritty game by Dallas. Going into, I had flipped that backwards. Derek Jones had a great second half. At the end of the first half, Oklahoma City had the lead 64-48. And a big reason to that is Luka had 5 turnovers in the first half, and as a team they had 12. They just weren't taking care of the ball. Oklahoma City was able to get out. Shea had 21 of his 36 in the first half, and you had 9 from Dort, Williams, and Holmgren. Just getting out on the break and attacking and being aggressive, right? They were really able to take advantage of that. And in the second half, you saw a much different story. They only had 6 turnovers. Oklahoma City only had 5. But then you got a player like Derek Jones who goes 4 of 4 from 3, 6 of 8 from the field for 16 points. Kyrie Irving was just getting buckets. He had 18 in the second half, went 7 of 18 from the field, 4 of 9. Really turned his game around in the second half. And finally had a breakout game that we've been looking for from him, right? And in the end, the Mavericks made plays. They've been living off of those alley-oops all game. Anytime someone attacks the basket, Gafford or Lively are always there for alley-oop dunks. Derek Jones Jr. is always there for alley-oop dunks. Or you have PJ Washington in the corner hitting threes, and they've just been a really, really dangerous combination, right? I've been going on and on about how this team has really relied on Luka and Kyrie, and in this series, the other guys have really stepped up. PJ Washington had a ton of really good games. Derek Jones Jr. has had some really, really good games as well too. Guys have just been stepping up for them, and they hit some really, really big shots in the end. But to go back to, let me see this right here. This was such a huge moment. It was clearly a foul. It was clearly a foul. And this is the thing about sports, right? This is the funny thing about sports. Shea had an unbelievable game. An unbelievable series, right? Like, it wasn't a 40-point performance like we've seen Brunson have, or a 50-point game like we saw Embiid had. But there was a stretch where, Williams, Chet, a couple guys on OKC were hitting shots, but Dallas was going on a run in the fourth quarter, and it had to have been 3, maybe 4 possessions back to back. I think 3 where Shea came down and hit a shot to answer every single one of those buckets from them. And it just so happens that he makes a mistake, right? In the play, he had already... Let me see if we can... Let's see if we can slow this down.
Gives it up.
Look, he contested right here. He already put his hand back. And I guess he thought he'd be able to get a clear block. He thought PJ Washington would go into his regular shot, but PJ he pumped it. And Shea, it's split moments, right? Split second decisions. Put his hand back out there and got the foul. And he said he would have liked to have that back. I think he could live with him either making or missing that shot. That's the reality of it, right? He can live with him making or missing that shot. But now he made the mistake one, and now you're left to wonder, right? You start wondering, would he have made that shot or not, rather than seeing it play out. If he makes that shot, you shake his hand, you call great game. But at the same time, at least it wasn't Luka or Kyrie Irving making the shot. You forced someone else to make a play on their team. And unfortunately, despite all of the great plays Shea had been making up until that point, he just had a lapse in judgment and made a mistake. And it happens sometimes. It happens to the best players, right? I've been going on and on about how he should have been the MVP. He's been so consistent, whether they're winning or losing. It just felt like they were always in the game because of him. When you watch the games, it didn't matter who was going off for Dallas. It didn't matter if Luka was having a good game or a bad game. You can look on the other side, and the guy on the other side that was still aggressive, consistent, and having solid to great games was always Shea. And even in the games where they had given up big leads, they would always chip away at it, and he was the real leader for that. So a phenomenal series from Oklahoma City, a huge learning experience from a team that's been in the playoffs, right? They were just in the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. Kyrie is proven in the playoffs. Luka has been very strong in the playoffs, and they just fell short. I thought that they were going to push the series to a game 7 for that first half, and for a good bit of that end. It felt like Oklahoma City had it in the bag, but Luka and Kyrie did a great job of trusting their teammates, and that's gonna be a theme today. They just did a great job of trusting their teammates, trusting what these guys have put in to hit big shots and put them in positions to hit big shots. And they just fell a little bit short. It was nice to see Kyrie come out and be aggressive. We haven't seen that from him too often in terms of putting up shots, right? He's still been aggressive, attacking the rim, trying to get other plays. That's why he's had so many assists in some of these games. But it's been really important for him to, I hate to say it, to take some bad shots and look for his rhythm. It's just the reality of being a star player and being a scorer. Yeah, you could question some of them, but there are some that he needs to take. And as a player that wasn't shooting so often, he needed to take some shots, right? He was able to take some of those in the end of the shot clock, some fallaways, fadeaways. Some of them went his way that night, and because of it, they're moving on. So congratulations to both teams. Both teams were incredible. We had a great series, and honestly, at the end of the day, regardless of which team you're a fan of, and this goes for the entire playoffs so far, the fans are really the ones that have been getting treated. The series have been fun. They've been back and forth. We got a couple of 4-0s in the last series, but it's, it happens, right? Some of those lesser teams have been knocked out, and we got some really great series out of these teams in the second round, which, like I said, it's just a win for the fans at the end of the day, right? We're getting great basketball. We're getting physical basketball. It's playoff basketball. And yeah, it's just little details here and there, and this really could have gone the other way for Dallas. Yeah, and it could have gone to OKC. PJ misses that shot. Look, there's 2.5 seconds left. He misses that shot. Get a rebound. That person's gonna try to put it back up, but if they come down with it, you have under a second to put up a quick shot again. Chances are Dallas loses that game if PJ just straight up misses that shot. And on the other side, if he does make that shot, then OKC loses anyway. So it's just, what a series. Congratulations to those guys in Dallas, man. They get a little bit of rest. They don't play until Wednesday. We'll get back to that series in just a little bit. But speaking of back and forth, we have ourselves the New York Knicks versus the Indiana Pacers. And I gotta admit, I'm still hurt by this. It was a tough way to go out. Jalen Brunson ended up getting hurt at the very end, fractured left hand. Been dealing with injuries the entire season, not just the playoffs. And in game 7, we ended up losing 130 to 109 to the Indiana Pacers. They had 3 players over 20 points. Tyrese Halliburton had a great game 7 to close the series out. 6 assists, 4 rebounds. 6 assists and 4 rebounds. Shot an unbelievable 10 of 17 from the field, 6 of 12 from 3. I mean, just look, the shooting was unbelievable. Andrew Nembhard went 8 of 10, 1 of 2 from 3 for 20 points. Siakam had 20 points again, 8 of 15, 2 of 3. It's just... And then Aaron Nesmith went 8 of 8, 2 of 2 from 3, 19 points. Very easily could have had 20 as well. And Miles Turner had 17, 7 of 11, 2 of 3. A historic shooting night. They shot 67.1% from the field, 54.2 from 3 as a team. That was the story of the game. We lost the first half 70 to 55. 55 isn't a bad half in terms of just pure points. But it's bad when the other team has 70. They shot 76.3% from the field and 66.7% from 3 in the first half alone. So let's quickly just relive the nightmare that I saw, because holy shit.
And the offensive rebound, back out, Anunoby. Josh Hart. Anunoby, his first shot in 11 days is good. Anunoby struggling with his dribble, just gets it off in time and knocks it down. Siakam, nice move, step back.
What a move. My God.
He's going to get him in space, JJ, and if you give him a cushion at the boards in that game.
Halliburton left open, wide open, 3 is good. Neither team has turned the ball over yet. Halliburton stops, shoots, and scores. Halliburton fakes, sidestep, 3-pointers up.
He was just on fire.
Moving well, has not returned since. On the bounce, McConnell once again. He's done that over and over. Good defense here from Shepard. Brunson draws the foul. Shot. McBride. Change direction. Layup. He back. DiVincenzo fires a three. It's good. 8-point.
Wow.
DiVincenzo wide open for three. It's good.
We were making it a game, and then right here.
Pass stolen by Neesmith. Neesmith to Siakam. Siakam kicks it out. Halliburton back up top. Turner gets a clean look for three.
Awful.
Got it from three-point range for these Pacers. Brunson turns it over. Halliburton, good hands. Lays it up and in. The steal and the bucket. All 5 starters in double figures for the Pacers. Another steal on the inbounds. Counted out of foul. Set a record for the best shooting performance in NBA playoff history.
With injuries. Randall missed a lot of it. Brunson was dealing with that foot injury.
That's where the injury had taken
proud of what we
place.
were able to do this year, and proud of how we fought night in and night out. And obviously the outcome is not what we wanted, but the way we fought, man, it's awesome.
And what are you going to do? They shot unbelievable. People want to talk about injuries. Yeah, moving forward. And prayers to Jalen Brunson, his hand, speedy recovery. We need him. He's been the best player through the playoffs, hands down, in my opinion. But we can't look at injuries when it comes to why we lost this series and why we lost this game. $70 points in the first half. 70 points. We came out flat, and you could tell because the third quarter we came out firing. We were aggressive. We were taking away Halliburton early. We were getting to our shots. Right? We had cut the lead to 6-7 points. And I had said it when I was on the stream. I said it as soon as they subbed him in.
For three.
As soon as TJ McConnell was subbed into the game, I said he's about to be a difference maker. He's about to shift the whole momentum of this game. The Knicks had to understand at that point that on the Indiana Pacers that had Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner, that TJ McConnell was now the most important player on the floor. It's his MO. He's always been like that, and he's been that this entire series. Why? Because now he gets to play Jalen Brunson, right? We've seen in games before the effect that Brunson has had on Neesmith. Neesmith is this big athletic player. He likes to run. He likes to get out. And him staying on Brunson takes that away, right? He doesn't get to play this free safety, playing the passing lanes. He doesn't get to use his athleticism as much. And as soon as TJ McConnell gets in the game, Neesmith gets a steal. On the backside. He frees up their defense. He's not only going to play their best player he's not only going to defend the best player, but he also fills in the gaps. He's just a naturally great defender. He'll do things off of instinct, not necessarily off of the game plan. And it frees up players like Nesmith, players like Turner, like Siakam to go and make some plays on defense. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, look at this. They know he's gonna be on Brunson. And when they're forcing other players to make a play, now you can make this play.
McBride. Bad pass stolen by Nesmith. Nesmith to Siakam. Siakam kicks it out. Halliburton back up.
And they get a 3. You guys get back, but you guys forget that their center doesn't run to the paint. Look, he's not even thinking about... The ball is below the free throw line, or at the free throw line. He's not even thinking about getting in the paint. You guys have to know this.
Siakam kicks it out. Halliburton back up top. Turner gets a clean look for 3. Got it from 3-point.
That has to be Hart. Hart has to get out on that, right? The rotation here has to either be... I mean, well, obviously Hart falls to the floor, but someone has to rotate to him.
Kicks it out.
Right? Knowing this guy's out, Brunson got to rotate to the nail already, but they just blowing an assignment.
Up top, Turner gets a clean look for 3. Got it from 3-point range.
And then in this possession,
point range.
Hart has to pick him really high because McConnell's going to try to get over on the screen. He's never going to go under. He's going to force you as the offensive player to play it tight, right? And obviously they don't get shoulder to shoulder. He's trailing him hard, right? And just active hands by Halliburton. But again, gets opened up because McConnell is on the floor being aggressive, being a pest. He just has that effect. Forces the offense to play quicker than they want to, and they get out on a run.
Brunson turns it over. Halliburton, good hands, lays it up and in.
This is a timeout, right? Timeout, obviously.
And the bucket,
and that was where Brunson had hurt his hand as well too. So that just doubles how important this possession was. If we're to believe what happened, this is where Brunson had fractured his hand.
Lays it up and in. The steal and the bucket.
Timeout. And what happens off of the timeout? This is where, you know, when old heads want to talk about experience, right? Let's see. Started from the 6:03 mark to the 4-minute mark. Yeah, 2 minutes, the game was over. I knew the game was over.
For the Pacers. Another steal on the inbounds, counted on a foul.
The game was over at that point. That's why I didn't even put anything after. Halliburton had an excellent first half. He's their best player, you know, when he's being aggressive. TJ McConnell won that game last night. And we'll get to this in the Minnesota game. It was a similar situation, and I was talking about it while the game was going on. We had cut it to 7 or 6 points. At that point, your whole objective from that point until the end of the third quarter is to keep the game within that range. You have to expect that Indiana's been hot. They were missing early in the third quarter. You have to expect them to make some kind of run soon. And you either stop it or you slow it down and then you make a run. Basketball is a game of runs. You have to know what's coming, right? You see TJ McConnell coming into a game. There has to be an immediate set to put his ass on the floor. It's game 7. You know what he's going in there to do. Relieve that pressure. I was saying it. They were trying to give this game to the Knicks early in that third quarter. They were calling ticky-tack shit like 50-50 balls that were touched. They weren't even hesitating. Knicks ball. And we were making a run. But the players, the coaches, you have to recognize that TJ McConnell's in the game. Someone else has to bring the fucking ball up. And the first action that McConnell has to have is a hard pick. It's these little details that makes the difference. The game was right there, and I'm not saying we would have won the game, because I always talk about how hard it is to come back, right? How much energy it takes. Sometimes players and teams just gas out at the end because they've spent almost all of their energy on the comeback, playing extra hard on defense, running hard to get open on offense. You know, they're playing at their max capacity instead of, you know, taking certain possessions off, playing the rhythm of the game. That's the difference with a comeback. That's why sometimes shots fall short. Guys just are tired. But the fact that it felt like they weren't prepared for that was the shocking part to me. Which leads me to the other thing. It's shocking to me that you guys get blown out in the last 2 games of a series. You blew out Indiana in game 5. And they came right back game 6. You guys have to be more aware of this. Gotta be aware of the situation. You gotta be aware of the moment. You guys were champions in college. You guys had made that run multiple times. You know how important runs are. You guys had to understand that Indiana was going to come out here and be aggressive. It wasn't the Indiana that you guys were seeing in New York the rest of the series. Even if that was what it said, you had to ignore that and just expect the Indiana that you guys just saw. Expect their best version. And it just seemed like they were not prepared. When that moment came, they were not prepared. They were getting stops on defense in the third quarter. They were making their run. Guys were hitting shots. And Alec Burks, what a series that guy's had, man. He's had himself a great series. We lost to TJ McConnell. I'm so sorry. I gotta give it up to that guy. We lost to TJ McConnell. He was exceptional. He was the reason they won that game. Because without him, I'm not confident those guys keep hitting shots. They said it on the broadcast, and I'd been saying it before. Indiana really relies on that offense. When they're hitting shots, their defense picks up, and it's this cause and effect. Right? It's not their defense starts playing well and then their offense picks up. It's the other way around for them. Right? And even though, yes, they got stops, it was TJ McConnell. He gave them that life. He did the clear. It's just wow. What a series by them. Congratulations. They're moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. I will say very quickly, I am proud of the Knicks in the way that they fought those last 2 games. Like I said, I can't believe that we went out like that. But it was still a great year. It was a year of injuries. It was a year of adversity. And they had fought through it. And they almost made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I thought they would make it. Indiana is a scrappier team than I gave them credit for. And yeah, hopefully Jalen's hand is good. Josh Hart needs to come back with a better jump shot. And we need more size on this team. it's at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to. We need more size on this team. So I would look for them to get some size in the offseason and for Hart and Brunson to keep improving. But moving on to Indiana, like I said, they had a great series. But it really was a series of home games up until this game. It was a series of home games. And going to Boston, where Boston is a better team than New York. They're a bigger team than New York. And they have 3 legitimate scorers in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Derek White. And their defense has shown to be real solid. I think Indiana's going to have a hard time. Excuse me. I give them 1 game. And I know I said this last time around. I think that Boston series goes 5 games and they win 4-1. Because this Indiana team can get really, really hot. And like I said, when they're hot, their defense picks up and it's a domino effect for them. So I expect Boston to come out on top, but I do think that Indiana, if they get hot going, can give them a hard time. The difficulty in that is Boston has size, like I just said. Who's going to guard Tatum? You're going to be forced to put Siakam on him, right? And if you have Siakam on him, you'll have to put Nesmith on. You have to put Nesmith on Jaylen Brown. I don't know if I like that matchup for Nesmith. Brown is much bigger than Jalen Brunson. Halliburton, I think Drew Holiday can do a good job on him one-on-one. It felt like everyone was too small for him on the Knicks. Dante was too small. Brunson was obviously too small. McBride seemed too small. Drew Holiday is going to do a much better job on him. And Derek White, right? Halliburton's going to have to guard one of those guys. And then Miles Turner is going to be tasked with having to deal with Al Horford, who could also stretch the floor. And what's their other dude name? I don't know if Porzingis is going to be playing, but I think that's going to be a really tough series, bro. My nose is so fucking itchy right now. I don't know why. But I expect Boston to win that series. And like I said, congratulations to the Indiana Pacers. And moving on to another shocker, because I ended up like fucking 6 for 10 last week because I missed the last 4 games. So I had the Denver Nuggets winning last night, and they fucking lost. So the Minnesota Timberwolves defeated the Denver Nuggets in Game 7 last night, 98-90. Jaden McDaniels had 23 points, shot 7 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 6 of 7 from the line, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. Karl Anthony Towns had himself 23 points as well, 8 of 14, 1 of 6 from 3, 6 of 6 from the line, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And Anthony Edwards only had 16 points, shot 6 of 24, 2 of 10 from 3, but had 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. And on the other side, Nikola Jokic had himself 34 points, 7 assists, 19 rebounds, but shot only 13 of 28 and 2 of 10 from 3. Jamal Murray had himself a horrible shooting night. Well, actually, he's not even too bad, to be honest. 13 of 27, 4 of 12 from the field, 4 of 12 from 3, 35 points, but they had no one else in double figures. It was just the two of them. Denver started off the first half very strong. They had a lead in the first half. What was it? 53-38. So let's take a look at how this game actually turned out.
Which brings us to tonight. It's Towns who have Jokic. They double him again. Caldwell poke three.
Look at the defense here by Alexander Walker.
And it's good. Murray tries to position. Caldwell poke. The pile drive his way inside. Shot clock at 4 for Murray. 3. Porter will fire it. They'll set up. Always feeling it.
Bang.
Gouging his way inside with a good feed. Fiercely into the paint goes Murray. Knocked away inside Gobert. Believing Edwards with his speed is Kyle, and he gets the 2. Jokic has 14 and 17. Edwards through traffic. The 3. Aaron Gordon will defend. Caldwell Pope comes over. Shot clock 2. Corner 3. Conley. Ramrods his way into the defensive Towns. Knocked away. Here we go. Edwards at the other end.
Bang.
And Jokic has it. The collision into Towns. The lean in by
what a move.
He's got 16 points. Towns aggressively into press.
Strong move right there.
Oh, there's a steal by Edwards.
Here he comes, and there we go. Murray. And he's tailed by Edwards. Jokic goes pounding his way.
There's the double team.
You're right. It's Porter with a 3.
Bang.
From Edwards to Conley. Shot clock at 1. Conley the fake. He'll fire.
Bang.
Jokic with a 3.
I like it.
Let's go Bear. Into Jokic. Shot.
Hey, I knew that shit was over, bruh. I knew that shit was over right there. Look at damn.
It's stolen by Conley. He pickpockets Murray. He gets it off to Reed. Corner.
Big possession.
Shoots. He'll fire up a prayer. That's it. The Timberwolves.
And that was it.
Damn, I'm trash. What you mean? 6 for 24. Oh, look at me. Look at me. 2 for 10. When Rudy hit the turnaround, I was like, yeah, we probably got him.
Yup.
Because I know that'll kill you. I know that'll kill your whole. That'll kill everything. I had Jamal in handcuffs.
So yeah, we obviously those guys having a good time. Let's see the difference in the first half is let's take a look at it real quick. Murray went 8 of 15 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3 for 24 points. Right? He had 2 turnovers in the first half. Let's see how the second half was looking. Jamal Murray in the second half had 11 points, 2 turnovers, shot only 5 of 12 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. And what a game of defense by Anthony Edwards in that second half. Taking on the challenge, realizing that the Denver Nuggets were going to win or lose this game off the backs of their 2 stars. And it was on their 2 stars, Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, to face them literally by matching up with them on defense. And it really shows the toughness that this team has to take on that challenge. Right? It shows humility on Rudy Gobert, who's the defensive player of the year, who very easily could have said, hey man, I'm gonna go take this challenge on. I'm gonna D him up. I'm the defensive player of the year, even though we all know he's been getting cooked by Jokic, and he always does. And it's not to say that, Cat did some spectacular job defensively. The guy still had 35. He's just done a great job of being a bigger body, staying with him, moving his feet. Gobert just doesn't move his feet that well. Cat has guard-like skills. He can hit step backs and like we see how he moves on offense. His feet just move better. And they just made it really, really difficult. And their other guys just never got it going. 3 points. You know, they had outside of Jamal Murray and Jokic, only 2 players scored in the second half. Christian Braun had 2. And Michael Porter Jr. had 3. And that was it. That was the game. And you're not gonna win when you get 5 points from the rest of your team in a half. You're just not gonna win that series. You're not gonna win that game. You're not gonna win that series. It's not gonna work. And for all the credit that I've been giving this Indiana team on their ability to rely on those two when they need it the most, it almost bit them in the ass this time. Those guys just didn't show up. Right? You got Michael Porter Jr. went 1 of 5. KCP went 0 of 4. Aaron Gordon took 1 shot in the second half. It's just... yeah, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. And... let me see. What do I have here? Oh, and the other part as well, too. The other key part was when Minnesota was making a run in the fourth. Let me see what timing this was. It's around the 7-minute mark. Right? It was around the 7-minute mark. Gobert hit like a fucking turnaround in that stretch, but Minnesota was obviously on the run, right? And this is the little details in basketball. Jokic draws 2 fouls consecutively. Slows down the momentum. Slows the game down. Gets some free buckets at the free throw line. And the other part was he got 5 fouls on Karl Anthony Towns in that moment. I was watching that moment. It was very, very key, right? Because moments like that are what shifts momentum. Great players know how to make great plays without it being a basket. You know, Luka does a very good job of that as well too. He'll stop momentums by drawing fouls, causing ticky-tack fouls, or off a technical foul on one end or something, flagrant fouls. You'll see players aggressively attack the basket. This is the game within the game that people talk about. It's these little possessions that give you extra possessions, draw fouls on players, stop momentum. The really, really smart, high IQ plays. But it looks like Minnesota is prepared for that. Because they just... Naz Reid comes out, gets a massive putback dunk, because in that possession, that was right off of the substitution, right? Denver played great defense. They forced up a tough shot by let me see. Oh no, not this. They forced up a tough shot by Anthony Edwards. And really, let's see, momentum could really shift right there. However, oh shit. Let's do that. Let's see.
By Edwards, Jokic goes into Jokic, shot clock at 2.
Turnaround. So he hits that turnaround, right? It's a close game still. It's a close-ass game still. You know, the possession happens. There's a stretch there where Jokic draws 2 fouls. It's still close, right? 87-82. It's a 5-point game. They played great defense, forced Anthony Edwards into a tough shot. This was right after Cat goes out. And Naz Reid makes that play. And then on another broken play off of the steal, right? Running hard.
He gets it off to Reid. Corner, Edwards, and shoots.
In the game. Like that. That was a moment where Denver could have shifted the tide of the game. Their second best player goes out, who's been playing really, really well. It's a dangerous position because, you know, now it opens up Jokic. Gobert is going to either have to guard him if they're going to maintain that strategy that they had, or Naz Reid is going to guard him if they want to keep their matchups, right? And Naz Reid comes out and starts making plays, keeps the momentum going for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and, you know, really breaks the game open. And it's those little moments like that in the 6-minute mark where this game was pretty much decided. And it was just execution at that point. And it was just, you know, Minnesota found ways to be on the right side of those situations. Jokic and the Denver Nuggets time and again have shown that in those moments they're able to take advantage of that and make a run. They were just on the other side of it this time. Just the other game, I was talking about how, you know, Jokic didn't, it wasn't just a master class that he had, but he would always hit shots whenever Denver would start going on a run. They would call a timeout and immediately isolate him. They've proven that they're good at this, and they were within striking distance and ultimately just fell short. Minnesota's defense was too strong. Their athleticism and their youth really took over, and just stayed aggressive throughout. So what a fucking series. Hey, to all those people that have been talking shit, man, I made the Anthony Edwards Michael Jordan comparison video like fucking a month ago, 2 months ago. Like, this guy is legit, and it's very different from, you know, I was talking about a big difference between him and Michael Jordan is the fact that he trusts his teammates. He's 22 years old. With the skill set that he has, and he routinely talks about trust, right? And it's just one of those things that's hard to find. So now, looking forward at their matchup, and these motherfuckers right now are using the goddamn leaf blower outside. Fuck, man. But moving on, looking forward to the Dallas Mavericks versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I must say, it's a tough matchup for the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know if they match up as well as the Dallas Mavericks have. Because having Gobert in the lineup, you're going to have to leave Gobert in the middle, because, which is fine because Gafford and Lively don't shoot threes anyway. Cat gets to stay out on Washington. And now on the other side, that's a mismatch for Cat. Gobert gets to stop some of these alley-oops. And it's just looking like a tough series. So moving forward, I'm going to expect the Denver Nuggets to ultimately win that game. I mean, win that series. That's my early prediction so far. They don't play until Wednesday, so maybe I'll have a change of heart. I'll look at some stats. I'll look at some things. But just from the way that they match up, it looks like, I've been saying it all along, don't be surprised about Minnesota. These guys are legit. And it looks like they're proving me right. I know I started choosing the other way, right? I had to apologize to Jokic. But the Minnesota Timberwolves are a team, and they showed it last night. Right? They have very many different win conditions. They don't rely on just Anthony Edwards having a great game. And they've shown that they can win scrappy games, blowouts, tight games. They've shown it, right? Dallas has two. And they have two stars. Kyrie can't have the series that he just had against OKC. They are not going to win this series if he's getting 8, 9, 10, 11 points. They're not going to win the series. And Luka's going to have to shoot better. However, I think Anthony Edwards gave a little bit of insight as to what that matchup looks like. He said he's going to draw the Kyrie Irving matchup, which makes sense because Kyrie is not as physical as Luka Doncic, and you need someone quick to be on Kyrie. Conley might be able to stay with him a little bit, but maybe they'll end up putting him on Derrick Jones Jr. And then they'll have Jaden McDaniels guarding Luka Doncic. Size, can move his feet. Gotta tell him to stay down. And then on the other side, look for him to attack whoever Luka is guarding. Because how does that matchup look? Is Luka gonna guard Conley? Probably. But you also can't have Luka. You can't have Kyrie guarding Anthony Edwards. That's not a good matchup. Are you going to put him on Jaden McDaniels? Then it's going to be on Minnesota to have Jaden McDaniels be aggressive and try to feature him if you have the smaller Kyrie Irving on you. It's just not a good matchup for Dallas. So I'll give them the edge on that. I'll make my final decision on Wednesday. But I give the Minnesota Timberwolves at this current point in time the edge on the Dallas Mavericks. And now looking ahead to tomorrow, Tuesday night's game, the Boston Celtics versus the Indiana Pacers. It's a quick turnaround for Indiana. They only have 1 day between these games, right? Boston has been resting. So in the first quarter, we're going to look for, is Indiana going to look sharp because they were just in a high pressure game? You know, are they going to come in hot? And they were on fire on Sunday. So are they going to carry that momentum? And is Boston going to look a little bit rusty? Or will Boston come out and looking fresh? Because they got to expect Indiana to try and score early. And I'm expecting Boston to win this series. It'd be really huge if Indiana can win this first game. Try to take advantage of these guys resting. Who do I have? What's been their record this year? See, what are their games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 3-2 right now. Played 5 times. 11, 1, 20, 23, 12, and then they played 3 times in January this year. Are you fucking kidding me? At Indiana, lost at... Okay. So Indiana has not beaten them on Boston. Okay, so I'll say this because especially it's kind of goes in line with what's been happening. So I'll go along with it. The Boston Celtics win Game 1 Tuesday night versus the Indiana Pacers. They're gonna be up 1-0 in the series going into Game 2. So yeah, that's my prediction. As always, thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. All that good shit. And fucking Knicks, man. Thank you guys for watching.